Digital marketing strategies. They look great on paper, right? But when it comes to implementing your startup's social media presence, brand, and content consistently, I got to tell you, many founders get overwhelmed. Our guest is the founder and CEO of a boutique consulting agency that takes service-based brands to the next level with growth-based holistic marketing strategies. Doesn't that sound wonderful? It's Fab Female Founder Friday on the Startup Life Live Show. Let's glow, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Startup Life Live Show. I'm your host, Ande Lyons, 4 times founder and startup champion to founders around the world. And after raising 4 businesses of my own, I don't need to imagine what you're going through. I know what you're going through. And I am so grateful that you are showing up every day for your startup and improving your skills. And that's why I'm also so grateful that you tuned into the Startup Life Live Show, because we have conversations with founders. They're talking about strategies and solutions and insights and inspiration that I know will up your founder game, because as you do better, your startup does better, right? Big yoo-hoo to the live viewers for joining us today, and the replay viewers, big hearts for you as see, I got the hearts all over my shirt today for you. And podcast listeners, I am so grateful you are tuning in as well for this delicious conversation. So if you, wherever you are, if you would be so kind as to share the video, share the audio, wherever you are, it really helps us reach more folks out in the world. And if you're tuning in on YouTube and you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. And to receive an alert whenever I post a new show, please join the Startup Life Live Meetup group. This is where you get the deep dive into our guest, what she is offering or he is offering, and the gems that you could grab for your startup. It's a great way to find out who's here and when you can come by and show up and share your own deliciousness in the live feed or via replay. I have a few Andelicious announcements for us today. One of the things that's happening in a few days is this event called Meet Our Fund. And I want to share a little bit about it with you, because it's a case of VCs pitching to their services to you. So at the new platform called inside.com, they are having this Meet Our Fund, which is an online event that's the ultimate, like what we like to call reverse demo day. So you join them on October 25th and 26th for a packed schedule of pitches, lectures, and networking. And you can apply to pitch, and you'll hear from investors at funds like Launch, Com Company, 27V, Pear VC, Mac Ventures, BTV, and many, many more. So check this out. Go on to inside.com. Go register if you'd like to pitch or show up. It's all virtual, and you're going to learn so much. And it's going to be fun seeing VCs pitching founders. Choose us, choose us. Kind of like The Voice, right? With the famous musicians. Be sure to hop on over to Arlen's Academy. Arlen's Academy is always providing the best information that you need. And for those of you who are in the HVAC and healthy home world, Carrier has a really cool challenge going on where you can get some money. And so check this out. Carrier is inviting startup companies and founders to submit their ideas and solutions for an opportunity to shape the future of healthy homes together. I'll have all the links in the show notes. You know, there's so many opportunities to get money out there. And sometimes it's great when it is what we call undiluted capital, right? You're not giving up any of the equity for that funds. Woo! Love that. I'm so excited to introduce our guest today. So I'm going to jump right in and introduce Janelle Jones. Yeah, we're going to be talking about my favorite topic, digital marketing, so important for a new brand. And Janelle, she's the founder and CEO of Janelle Co, a boutique consulting agency that takes service-based brands to the next level with growth-based holistic marketing strategies. The team at Janelle Co are on a mission to amplify changemakers' services by providing innovative, customized strategies. They work as direct partners with clients to strengthen their brand presence and boost all aspects of their business. You're going to love Janelle's stories too. She's amazing. Let's bring her into the room. Janelle Jones, welcome to the Star Life Live Show.
Hello, hello.
I'm so happy you're here. Where are you sitting right now? Where are you hailing from?
I am in Atlanta right now.
Ah, I have to tell you, there is so much going on in the Atlanta startup community. We've had some great founders here, Janelle, from your area. The support there is amazing. And you've got Zane Ventures, you've got a nice hub there that's always helping founders up their game. So I love that you're there in that part of the world. I'm excited to share you and your stories with everyone. And a big hello to Ruth. Hi, Ruth. Ruth is a phenomenal digital marketing support person out in the world. She's in Nairobi and she supports the Startup Live show as a community manager. And I am it's pure joy having Ruth here every time I go live. It really makes my job so much easier. So let's start chatting about your background, because everyone has what I call their launch story, right? The day that they were compelled to start a business. Where were you in life when that idea came to you?
I was working for a bank, one of the largest ones in America, and I was dying, literally dying. Yeah, just from stress.
From
It was
stress? Oh, no, like literally you weren't like it just.
literally, not facetiously, literally
Oh
dying.
my
I was in the
gosh, Janelle.
hospital. Yes, I was 21 years old and sick. Like you would have thought I was, I don't know, 75, the way my body was acting.
Oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
so how did that inform you? Like, what did you do some inner work? What happened?
I went on a medical leave and
Okay.
I was healed within a month.
I'm feeling so much better. I wonder why that is.
And I realized the problem. And so I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going back to that job. I stayed on my medical leave for 3 months. In the time that I was on the medical leave, I decided to start a tutoring agency in Atlanta. And I was driving around tutoring kids all over the metro Atlanta area. And it just bloomed and blossomed. And I was working over 40 hours a week tutoring. I hired 3 or 4 tutors to work with me at any given time. And I had a full-blown tutoring agency for about 5 years.
Wow. And you're tutoring kids in English, math, writing, all whatever the parents needed
Yes,
help
all the
with.
way from pre-K to college, I was tutoring it, Spanish and everything.
Oh my gosh, Janelle. And so what did that experience teach you?
Oh, it taught me that I didn't wanna manage, people that were driving into other people's homes. That's what it taught me.
Ooh.
Yes, because people decided to take it on themselves, that they were gonna do things their way, and I didn't have that type of control that I needed to
That's
have over the situation.
Boy, isn't it amazing, folks, when we pull on threads and we learn what we don't want to do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
2 circumstances. I'm not working at that big bank, not a fit for me. And now, like, I don't know, going into someone's homes, working with their kids, that's sketchy.
Yeah,
And if they're not doing it
exactly.
my way, who knows what they're doing? And you're going to be the one held responsible.
Exactly, there we
Oh,
go. So I decided that I was gonna stop the tutoring agency, so I got on a flight and headed to a business retreat in Bali. And I was like, I have no idea what my new business is gonna be. I was just sitting in hot seats and telling them everything that I was doing, trying to figure it out. And they said, "You're a hustling hottie. You need to be online teaching people how to start these side hustles." And one thing led to another. I started a VA business. I realized I was more than a VA because I'm helping with marketing.
yeah.
And hence, here we are now with a digital marketing consultancy.
Oh my, which you've had for how long? Ooh,
Oh, my
10?
son is 7 now. So I think 8 or 9 years.
That's wonderful. Hustle and hotties, though. I love alliteration. So, I mean, that's, hustle and hotties. How did that go? I mean, you're a branding person. How was that received out in the world?
Many women loved it. The brand was loved by women, but they were just they were just these men, the patriarchy, right?
Right.
They do not like anything that motivates and makes women ambitious. And then it was cheeky too. So they were like, no, this is not a good name. But
Oh,
it was well loved. It still is.
yeah. Oh, of course it is. And of course,
Yeah.
the gals are just having a blast with it all. I'm a hustling hottie.
Yeah.
Goddamn right I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
That's such a great story. And you're right. Also, while we at the same time, we don't want to be objectified, we know as women, we don't need to be mansplained, right? As to why
Mhm.
that is such a good fit for
Yeah.
them. That's great. So you have your MBA in digital marketing.
I do. I do. I went to Full Sail University
Yeah.
in 2020, right before the pandemic hit. I finished my degree. I walked across the stage. I was salutatorian of my class. And yeah, it was amazing.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, that is great. And so I'm so curious because, I always am saying the thing with digital marketing is that it's always changing. But
Mhm.
I do believe the core branding elements are the same. And, we will dive into that. But I am curious a little bit about all the businesses and hustling and tutoring and pulling on threads from such a young age. Had you been exposed to entrepreneurship growing up, or were you that kid in elementary school that was a hustling?
No, I wasn't. No. I was very much a studious child. I have awards where I never missed a day of school. I was very studious. My mother's a teacher. My father works at a hospital, so no entrepreneurs there. I just realized that I could not, after that job, I just couldn't work a job. I realized that there were alternative lifestyles that were out here. And
Thank goodness. And who wouldn't want to go to Bali on a retreat, everybody? Waving madly here, folks.
yes,
Let
yes,
me
what a
just
trip.
let me just go to someplace really magical and start thinking about what do I really want to do in life. It's a phenomenal way to remove a lot of the barriers that we have in our own limited beliefs, in all our daily activities. When you go to someplace that's that magical, it really helps you step out of what would be a comfort zone or really limiting expectations of yourself. So I love that you did that. What do you think it is about digital marketing and on building online presences and brands that really makes your heart sink? Because you went and got an MBA in it. So clearly this is an industry that you are loving.
You realize the possibilities are limitless in marketing, right? If I try this, this could possibly happen, or this could possibly happen. We never know. So with marketing, I can create things and I have the ability to sell it to who I want, when I want, where I want, especially because it's online. So I can reach people literally all over the world.
Right. And another great thing about it too is the fact that there's the creativity part, but a lot of times it is an experiment. And for
Hmm.
some of us founders, like, we're doing enough beta
Yeah.
testing in our own, building of our, whether it's tech platforms or whatever we're doing, working on so hard. But the beauty of digital marketing is that it's an experiment, right?
Right, right. And we don't know. It's like throwing the spaghetti at the wall. Is it going to stick or not? Right. And if it doesn't stick, we try it a different way. Okay, let's cook it a little bit more. Or let's not cook it so much this time. We never know.
That's right. And you have to stay curious.
Hmm.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh. So when you first, launched and started putting out, some of your feelers, what was it like? Like I mean, we know what happened with the tutoring business and the hustling
Yeah.
hotties and all, but where did this all evolve into? And what were some of the fails along the way that you were like, whew, glad I got that out of the way, or wow, I didn't see that coming?
So most of my business comes from referrals, right? So I've
Yeah.
noticed that if I do paid marketing, it doesn't work for me. Paid advertising, it doesn't work. I've thrown so much money into paid advertising and it has not worked because I'm a service based. I think paid advertising works really great for products, but for my services, people are particularly buying Janelle, right? So
Right.
referrals are going to be the best way for me to get clients. So that's one of my fails. Like, okay, I really don't need to do paid advertising right now because I'm selling myself as a service.
And yet there are a few, influencers out there who definitely, I mean, they show up on your feed and they're definitely, doing the paid advertising. And you did Facebook, you tried LinkedIn, did you Google ads, everything?
Yeah, yeah. Now, influencers are different. Remember, I'm not considered an influencer,
There we
though.
go.
There's a difference in all of these things, and it's nuance, right? Of course, but
Right.
I'm not an influencer. I'm actually offering a service. They may be selling themselves to sell your product, but that's
Or
actually a product, right?
or a course,
Or a
or
course
think,
or something
yeah.
like that. I'm actually selling something. Let me do it for you. Let's do it together, kind of thing.
I got to tell you, folks, that's really a great insight.
Yeah.
So good, because at the end of the day, you're branding yourself, which means you have to have touch points with people and you have to find ways to reach them. So how do you reach folks? What has worked for you in finding customer segments and what hasn't worked? We know advertising hasn't.
Yeah, so like I said, referrals are best, right? So what the next thing next to referrals is brand partnerships. So a brand partnership doesn't have to be, oh, I'm working with Target, oh, I'm working with Walmart. No, a brand partnership is me and Andy are working together. She says, you know what? I know this amazing marketer. I want to give her a referral. You work with her, and I give Andy a percentage of whatever I make from her referral.
Oh, wait, let me just go like this for a second.
There you go. There you go. That's part of my advertising plan.
Oh my gosh. And so as a result, and folks, we're going to dive deep into branding today because digital marketing is a tactic. Branding is how you bring your essence to the world and your consistent delivery of that. Your brand promise is that I promise to show up this way for you every time I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. Oh my gosh, Pinterest. And so this is what's so fascinating about this. And I bet your brain, just loves going into all the different ways of, reaching folks. And who did you find yourself attracting as clients? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, because I'm a mom, I love to travel, right? And I work online. I attract moms that desire to do the same lifestyle that I live. They're constantly asking me, "How do you do all of these things?" Right? So that's part of my brand is showing them this is how you can be productive. This is how you stay sane while being a mom and juggling whether it's your job, your business, just having me time.
Absolutely. I have a favorite person I interviewed on the show here who when COVID hit, her daughter was doing everything online. She did the same thing. Well, let's go live in Aruba for 6 months. Then they went to Hawaii. Then now they're in Italy. And, daughter's getting educated. She's still able to, as a service person, meet all her customers and clients' expectations. And yet they're traveling.
It's amazing.
That is so cool. So as a business owner, how do you see your value proposition? How have you gone after and proven that people want what you're selling? So you shared that you immediately found that you were able to bring your lifestyle to people who also wanted that lifestyle. How else did you prove that folks were tuning into what you had?
I give a very unique service to my clients. It's very hands-on. They have complete access to me. So when they realized how hands-on I was with them, they realized that, okay, I need this because I'm flailing and I cannot do this by myself. So let me see if I can get Janelle to help me with my marketing. We're going to do it together so that they actually learn what I'm doing with them and they're able to do it to eventually do it by themselves. So when I put that into my branding, I was able to sell more. I was able to sell at a higher ticket price. And I was able to touch more people because they were able to see this is a possibility.
Right. And, this isn't something that you. Okay, Richard. Richard, folks, who are tuning in later, just came up with a stitch that on a pillow. You are your brand. Okay, Richard, I'm on it. Here we go, everybody. Here comes the stitch that on a pillow moment. You are your brand. Remember that no matter what kind of work you're doing. But what I also love is that you're taking the teacher in you, right? Founders, that this, not only can it feel overwhelming, trying to decide, what platform to be on, how to communicate, etc. But it can be confusing, especially as all the algorithms change all the time and what worked a minute ago no longer works. So with you and your clients, how do you manage what I call the vicissitudes or the finickiness of all the platforms?
Well, if you are your brand, you've got to be yourself, right? Okay, so it doesn't matter what the algorithm does. It doesn't matter. You are never going to change. Be consistent with who you are, and you'll be able to attract your clients. So if you're on Instagram and you feel like Instagram is where your clients are and you love being on Instagram, then be consistent with Instagram. As you notice small little things, oh, they really like that reel that I created. Let me create more of that. Oh, they didn't like this time. Let me go ahead and post a picture. As things change and evolve, focus on changing and evolve with the platform that you're on. I always tell my clients, pick one platform, stick with it. Once you get into a process and a system, then you can bring another platform on. But if you're not ready for that, stay on your platform and be consistent with it.
Excellent advice. I'm doing the big clappers on that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be pulling out every little gem that you have. I'm always telling founders, for your business too. I mean, you are your brand, absolutely, especially for those in service brands. And each platform has a flavor, but I will tell founders who are raising capital. So it's usually the tech founders or founders with a prototype they're going to be bringing to market. You, the founder, need to be on Twitter because that's where the investors are and that's where your peers are. You can leave your business wherever your business thrives the best for your customers, but for your peer support, Twitter. And can we talk about how you can have positive experiences on these platforms without going down the rabbit hole of politics and anger and righteous behavior and things like that?
Yeah, so I like to use a saying, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Keep on scrolling. Why are we constantly getting into it with people on these platforms? I've seen so many political discussions on Twitter lately, and I'm just like, let me just keep on scrolling. Oh, that looks interesting right there. Let me click. Oh, get access to that. Click there. That's what I want. I want to click what the things that I need that's going to be beneficial to help my business. I want to connect with people on Twitter that are actually going to help my business to grow, that are actually doing things in line with my industry. If it doesn't apply to me, why am I even bothering with it? I'm wasting time that I don't have.
Exactly. And because all of these are machine learning, right? They're all AI. You're teaching them that, you want the algorithms to feed you this information. Now, folks, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I'm all of it. I'm, highly the activist on so many levels in so many areas. And Twitter knows that about me, but I put everything into lists on Twitter. So Janelle,
I did see that.
Yeah, so I've got the list of my wonderful guests, fab female founders, VCs, angel investors. So I have the whole startup life, but I also have, my favorite political pundits and other areas where I can be the activist that's in my heart as well. So folks, what Janelle is saying is that you're staying true to you, you're being your brand, but no matter how titillating that scrolling can be and wanting to tap on things, only tap on the conversations that are relevant for your business, right? You can set up a screen almost, yes?
No, definitely. And I'm not saying that you can't click, but have a dedicated time.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to zone out and play on Twitter for this 15, 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going to click the things that I shouldn't be clicking right now. Okay, that's fine. Take that time. But when you're supposed to be focused on, okay, I'm going to look for somebody that's going to help me fund my business. I'm going to look for somebody that's going to be my digital marketing strategist. That's what you're doing. That's what you're scrolling for. You're not clicking on anything else at that time.
Oh my gosh. And all of this advice is so important. And I'm just going to say a quick hi to Libby. She may have moved on, but she's saying, send me a link, please, so I can watch this again later. Sounds great. It is great, Libby. And I know Ruth has responded probably already to Libby's request for a link. That's the beauty of replay. So when you sit down with a client and you start talking about where they should be or need to be or want to be on social media, I love the advice you gave earlier, which was pick a platform that's right for you. So many founders, newbie founders, and that's who we have watching the show primarily. This is their first time segueing right from being an employee to an owner. And so now they've got to think not as the individual who's, fooling around in all the platforms, but now I'm a business and I've got my business brand, but I'm a service business. So I have to make sure that I am bringing my best self forward and understanding. So do you talk to them about what their brand's language is and what those words might be?
Yeah, definitely. So first, before you get to all of that, Andy, you want to talk about your target audience. Okay, who is your target audience? That's where you want to start with. Is it a man? Is it a female? Are they a CEO? Are they a mompreneur? Who are you talking to? Once you figure out who you're talking to, then you want to discuss what their pain points are. Why do they need your service or your product? Once you figure out their pain points, then you'll know what to speak to them about. That will let you know what platform they're on, because a CEO is going to be hanging on LinkedIn, a tech founder is going to be on Twitter, somebody who's into photography and art or buying a product is going to be on Instagram. Each platform is catered to a different demographic. So where your clients are is going to be what platform you get on.
Oh my gosh. And folks, I'm sure that Janelle works with you and brings the customer persona exercise in, but this is the one I used with my clients. It's so important because you're talking, if you see the motivations, the goals, the behaviors, the expectations, that is the psychographics, because you want to tune into them up here and in their heart, right, Janelle?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Because what I say to people, they say, "Oh, I work with females that are 20 to 60 years old." Well, that's not going to work. A 20-year-old has a different mindset, a different goal, a different dream than a 60-year-old who's thinking about retirement. So that's two completely different conversations that you're going to have. So you have to narrow in exactly who you're talking to.
Oh my gosh, I love everything about this. So Instagram, for example, and
Mhm.
and I've been on Instagram since the day it came out. But and I've watched how it's gone from, beautiful photos into, expanding and growing. Of course, then they sold to Facebook. But the I keep coming back to the algorithms. One minute I'm getting like hundreds of likes and all sorts of, and the next thing it's cricketed and I'm getting like 10 likes. How do you coach and consult with your clients around not taking that personally?
Yeah, they don't own social media. It's not yours. That's what I tell them. So while you're on it, while it's working for you, while the algorithm is hot, get those people over to your email list. The only thing that you own is your website and your email list. So get those people over to your email list, move them off of social media every second. That's your only goal. For me, your only goal on social media is to start moving them over to your email list so you have the ability to nurture them and sell to them eventually.
Oh my gosh, folks, I got to excuse me while I have an Andelicious moment here, because this is so true. Janelle just dropped some serious gems right there, folks, because you don't own social media. They have their own agenda. They're meeting their advertising and business model needs, and you're just in the funnel for them.
Yeah, no, definitely. They're here. If you've noticed, all of the social media platforms now have a bunch of ads up, right? Okay, we're seeing ads as we're scrolling. They're getting paid for those ads. So you need to be getting paid too by taking those people over to your email list and start nurturing them, selling them. You should have a welcome email series up on your email list so you can start nurturing them immediately. This should all be an automated process that you have already set up so you don't have to go in and start manually emailing them every day.
And do you help your clients with
Oh,
that?
yeah,
She
definitely.
said,
It's a requirement.
please.
Yes.
No, I
Definitely.
mean, I've been there so many times, and we heard it on a webinar. We're supposed to
Mhm.
do this, but folks, stay in your sweet spot at what you do well and hire Janelle for the rest and her team, right?
No, and I just hate that people say, "Oh, I can't afford this. Oh, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna do." So how many things do you have on your to-do list that you said in January you're gonna have done by the end of the year? We're now in October. Why don't we start checking those things off our to-do list and just hire people to get it done in the next 2 months so that we can get these things accomplished so we can start actually making money.
Yes, yes. And folks, it's not called spending, it's called investing
There you go.
in your business.
There you go.
It shows up on your P&L statement as an expense because you needed it for your business, but it really is an investment. And it's you understanding that there's this thing called marketing ROI, return on investment. It's how you move your business forward. And, be like not taking your kid to the pediatrician. You need these things to keep your business alive. And if you can delegate it, find it, raise the money, get a grant, whatever you need it for, everybody understands that marketing is so important. All right. So now, how is it that you onboard clients? What's your procedure for bringing on board a new client and then finding out how you can best serve them?
Yeah, no, definitely. I told you I'm very hands-on. So there is a questionnaire that I have my clients fill out, getting to know their brand, seeing where they are, because that's the biggest thing for me. Let me know what your target audience is. Let me know what your website looks like, what your social media. I want to do a full digital audit before we have our first consultation call. After I do my audit, then we jump on the phone and we have a consultation call. Well, I say phone, Zoom. We have a consultation call. We're going to go over the audit. We're going to go over their goals. We're going to go over their KPIs for the year. And then we're going to make a plan of what I'm going to create, what they need to make sure that they're able to hit their goals by their deadlines.
Whew, and we all know, folks, that success for a startup equals progress.
Yes.
And there's no better feeling. So working with you, Janelle, they can see, they can track. We can say, this is what happened here. And then you can say, I'm doing better than I did yesterday.
Yes.
I'm successful.
Right.
Because folks, you're going to have your big picture metrics and they're very, very important, but you'll have heartbreak if you try to just always be looking at them and valuing, what you're doing. So that's the beauty of bringing folks on board. And then how do you filter out what platforms are going to be right for them? I mean, a lot of times, of course, everybody knows I'm an equal social media opportunity person. I am everywhere. And I mean, you talk about crazy algorithms. I'm on Pinterest because I use it for a lot of things, but I'll put, snippets from the show and put things up there. And I'll go from maybe having 26,000 impressions to 560,000 impressions. And I have no idea what's going on over there.
No, definitely. My assumption is that you have help with all of this. So my clients, they don't have help. So they have to figure out
I just like it. I'm a social person.
So most of them get overwhelmed by doing all of these different platforms.
Easily. Me, it's just part of the systems and procedures. So, I just dump that content there, there, and I'm like, ta-da. But, I delegate other services. So please trust me. But who wouldn't be overwhelmed? Because some days, it's hard to be consistent. And folks, I'll just, to Janelle's point, when I first started doing digital marketing back in early 2011, I set the systems up for me to really understand what I was putting on each platform. In fact, I remember when Pinterest came out, I was like, oh God, not another platform.
one.
I gotta learn. But, from a business perspective, so I know what I'm putting there. So it's just automatic for me. But most founders, of course, you're overwhelmed. You are very busy. You're onboarding talent, you're raising money, but your business needs to have a presence and it has to have an online presence. So delegating to someone like Janelle is so important. And how, on the service end, because this is, again, 30% of your time as a service person is spent marketing. And the other 30 or 40% is spent delivering, and then the rest is doing your admin tasks. How do you help your clients with that aspect of the business?
I'm putting those systems and procedures that you're talking about in place, right? So once we do that audit, then I'm also auditing their systems and procedures. So what happens when your client reaches out to you? What do they get? What do they receive? How do you bring them on? How do you hire people? What do you bring on? I'm looking at everything for an overall process, because how you do anything is how you do everything.
That's another stitch that on. How you do anything is how you do everything?
Yes. You do one thing, how you manage your social media is how your systems look. So if you're not consistent on social media, your systems are not consistent.
Oh my God. Okay, come on. I'm fanning myself now with Janelle. Folks, this is what you need. Again, as you grow, especially, moms and dads out there. I mean, you're trying to keep track of all the kids' schedules. If you don't have someone like Janelle helping you with this aspect of your business, let's dive into how do you train your customers and clients to understand how important their brand presence is?
Well, we look at their uh-ohs. I have a full-on discussion with them, right? So what happened when you did that? Oh, it failed and it faltered and it didn't work. How did that make you feel? Okay, so what is it? At what point did it fail? And what can we do differently to make sure that doesn't happen in the future? And I just constantly remind them, remember when that happened? Okay, we need to make sure that doesn't happen again. And just constantly going back when things happen, they come up. What didn't you have in place that caused that to happen?
So good. And how do you identify the words that their clients need to hear? When you're looking at quote, I mean, an ideal client gets thrown around left and right all the time, but not enough time is spent on really analyzing what that means. And not only what words, communication style. I mean, you might be, trash talk, Sally, okay, or John, but you can't take that snarky terrible example on my part. I'm sorry, everybody. But you can't take that to your business. You have to understand what they need to hear, your clients. How do you help your clients understand that about their potential customers?
Yeah, people are emailing them all the time. They're DMing them on Facebook. They're tweeting them. What are those words that people are using to talk to you? That's the words that you need to have in your copy. That's the words you need to have on your social media captions. Those are the topics that you need to be talking about. People are sending you content all the time, and you just have to actually see that this is content that's being sent to you.
Oh my gosh, smarty pants. Hashtag smarty pants right there. Now, folks, there you were just barely managing, the content that you were putting out on your one or two platforms, social platforms, when all of a sudden everybody's tuning to TikTok, which I'm a huge fan. I love TikTok. And all of a sudden people are like, oh no, I've got to dance too. And of course that's misinformation. TikTok is so much fun for information, but video isn't for everyone. And that yet the next thing you know, the only time where you get any lift on Instagram is with a reel because they want to compete. Now YouTube is doing shorts. How do you help your customers with that aspect of?
So I'm actually anti-video too. I'm not a huge fan of it. So
Tell us more. Come on, bring it on.
I hate making videos. I really hate making videos. So what I do, I have I just record myself talking, right? And then I put my voice over pictures, images, different things to make the reels. And I use the reels on Instagram, the same one on TikTok, the same one on YouTube Shorts, and just kind of it's called a holistic marketing strategy. So I'm putting the same content everywhere because it's formatted the same way. It's the same length. I just put it everywhere. So I'm not necessarily making videos where I'm recording myself, but I'm speaking, I'm recording different things that I can make into a video.
Oh my gosh, folks. See, that is a course in and of itself. But isn't that brilliant advice? Because I'm sure many of you are sitting there going, now I've got to do reels and I have to be in there. Because, you see these people who are just so good. They got the expressions, they've got the whole, edutainment thing going on. And and I've got to bring this up. Richard O is 100% audio. He is the mic guy. You never see Richard O ever. He's called, in fact, his handle is Talk to Me Guy. And so it's all about that. Ruth is saying, love that SEO words are given by your customers' inquiries. Who knew? We're learning so much here. And yes, Ruth, this is another good point. Stick to a platform and be consistent before bringing on other platforms. And let's just say hello to our favorite fan, Brent Manuel from Ottawa, Canada, a diverse person, loyal fan. And he's always reminding us that disability is innovation. And, social media is for our disabled folks as well, because neurodiversity to wheelchair bound, however, the invisible disabilities versus the visible disabilities, everyone has a home on social media. Do you have clients who serve our disabled community at all?
I do. I have a lovely client. I won't name her, but she just found out that she is autistic and she's a teacher of autistic children. And so, yeah, she has now created a course on bullying for kids, and she's teaching parents and teachers and the higher ups how to handle bullying for kids with disabilities. And so, yeah.
And so now here you are adding, and this is the beauty of being a consultant, folks, and having a consulting boutique like Janelle Co, is that your clients force you to sometimes, because they're saying, I need help with this. And you're like, wow, didn't think about that, but I can apply it this way. Is that what happened for you as
No,
well?
100%, and I can speak the language. My little guy, he's, highly intelligent, but it's kind of like a neuro thing, right?
Mhm.
So, the language that she speaks, I speak it because I speak to him, right?
Yeah.
So, it's a back and forth, and she's like, "You just get me," and I don't force her to do anything that's outside of her spectrum because it's not something that she can handle. The way that I think and way that I work is not the way that she thinks and she works. So, we have to figure out what works best for her.
Oh my gosh, you are a dream come true and literally the gift that will keep on giving, folks. I love that. We don't talk enough about that, do we, Janelle?
No, definitely not. So what I said to her is, "Oh, I like to use this," and she says, "Oh no, that's too much for me. I can't. That overwhelms me. I can't do that." Okay, so let's see. How does your mind process this? She tells me, "Okay, this is how you're going to set up this system then."
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And how do people work with you? So do they email you? Because I want to just make sure everybody's listening, how they can get in touch with you before I start asking some more questions. Because
Yeah.
I mean, we have down below here, we have JanelleAJones.com at Janelle J Speaks, and I'll have all the links in the show notes. But someone wants to kick the tires. Do you have any downloads or things like that for folks?
Yeah, so if you go to janellejones.com, you can click on store at the top of the website, and there are a bunch of freebies there that I offer. You can also sign up for my email list. You're going to get my create checklist, my online business checklist. There's so many different ways we can work together. And hey, I give a 20-minute free consultation. So if you want to pick my brain for 20 minutes for free, send me a message on my website, send me an email, let's chat.
This is so great because, founders, you see what's out there. You know some people are nailing it and you know when you aren't and how frustrating it can be. And of course, if you're raising capital, the investors are going to want to see that you're getting traction and doing what I'm always talking about here, which is the pulling together that long-term value and customer acquisition cost ratio, which is going to be so important to your understanding the cost of bringing a customer on board and being able to hand over or up your founder game working with someone like Janelle who's going to put those systems and procedures into place. And I bet, Janelle, you have it in a way that it can be used for anybody they onboard. So if they decide to bring it in house, now you've trained them and you've got something for their people and can train their people. Yes.
No, everything that I do comes with an SOP, right? So whether it's
Standing operating procedures,
standard
everybody.
operating, I'm sorry, yes,
Oh, that's
jargon,
okay.
standard operating procedures. So is it going to be a video? Is it written? Everybody works differently, right? So if you're a visual person, we're going to make the video for you. If you need to read it out, then having a written SOP, always be able to bring on board somebody and take over and let them do what they need to do without you having to do a bunch of training. Who has time?
Oh my God. Okay. Think about this, folks, because it's on your to-do list to hire someone to handle your social media because every business has to have a presence. This is as we used to call back in the day, the trifold marketing brochure. You have to be out there. It's how journalists find you. And also, Janelle, I'm being media prepared, meaning getting yourself as the founder brand as well as your business brand. And do you work with founders on making sure their professional brand has a voice to be used as an expert, brought into, a Forbes article or wherever?
Yeah, definitely. I have a client that I'm just onboarded that I'm working with now. We're making her media kit, her speaker sheet. She wants to do more speaking engagements and then creating her a plan for her PR. So reaching out to podcasts, reaching out to the news articles, reaching out to magazines and getting her to create her presence. Because like I said, people buy you. They buy you as the brand. So when people start seeing her and seeing all the things that she's doing, well, what is she selling? What is her services? Then they're moving on to the things that she's selling.
Oh, sorry, I got to fan myself again. Seriously, this is just such and Janelle, your ability to just boom, nail it like this. I mean, this is what a lot of founders need training on too, is being able to give that media bite, right? To be able to just say, hey, this is what we're talking about here. And this is what I need to, this is just
I
wonderful
can't
news.
stand a long-winded person. Like, just give me the information and let me go and do what I need to do with it, right? That's why I do strategy, because I'm just knocking it in place. This is what you need to do. Give me a checklist. I'm going to get it done for you.
Oh my gosh, hashtag get it done for you. So you've been able to find a lot of and touch on a lot of resources that will make founders' lives and anybody's life happy. What is a favorite, whether it's a platform or a book? What works? What do you love to share with folks?
What do I love to share with folks?
Like
I
some people
am
love Airtable, some people love, Slack, some people love a great book that helps folks. What's your
yeah.
favorite?
No, definitely. I use a lot of different systems. My favorite project management system is Asana, simply because it's list based. A lot of people who are visual use Trello. I don't work that way. I don't like the images. I like to have lists and be able, like I said, check things off of a to do list. I like to house my clients in a software called Member Vault, where I can make videos, I can make courses, I can put all my freebies, all my products in Member Vault. And then my software that I use, where I'm sending out invoices, I'm sending out contracts, I am managing all of my clients' data, is going to be a CRM. It's called Dubsado.
Okay. I have never heard of Member Vault. Member Vault. I'm going to put that into the show notes, a link, people. And what's the other one? Dub something?
Dubsado, Dubsado.
SAB as in boy or D as in David? Oh.
Dub as in boy, SAD as in dog. Oh.
Dubsado. Okay,
Mhm.
folks. I know nothing about these sites, but if Janelle loves them, we're going to love them.
And they're able to be branded. That's what I really love. I'm all about the beautiful aesthetic of things, and it's fully branded.
Can we talk a little bit more about the brand, folks? It's been proven 90% of every buying decision people make is based on emotions. Okay. The other 10% is just the hard facts they love to tell themselves that they made the decision with. The brand, the whole creation of that brand, do you work with people on rebranding? If maybe the first time out they just blew it, and do you work with them? It's like, okay, let's talk about your emotional your brand promise, what you want people to experience, and let's see that we can convey that in the font, the colors, etc.
Yes, I definitely do. I'm very brand picky. I'm like, I don't like that brand. I tell people all the time, you need a new website. I did that the other day. I was like, please don't get offended, but your website is not cute.
So what happens? What do you see? Talk a little bit about that. I love that.
It doesn't work. It's really slow. I click on it. It's outdated. It doesn't actually say what they do. It doesn't pull to me. There's no pain points on there. It doesn't pull that I want to make a purchase with them. There's all kinds of different fonts. We want to use the max 3 fonts on a platform. Okay, the colors, they clash together. McDonald's uses red and yellow together. That makes you hungry. The colors give a sense of different things that are going on for a customer. All
Absolutely.
those things are affecting while you're not making money, while things are not converting. That CTC you're talking about is part of the brand.
Absolutely. Conversions matter. Hashtag that. So, and fortunately, my brand person put everything into Canva for me. So as long as I don't blow it by using.
No, Canva is goals. I'm definitely not a designer by any. I love Canva. Okay. Everything I do is in Canva too, because it makes things so easy, especially for founders.
Right. And so, I have templates, everybody. And as long as I make sure I make a copy of everything I do, everything you see is a template that I went in and changed the text to, because Ande Lyons, Andeliciousness should not be on Canva doing her own thing. I just do not have it ever. And folks, people can tell when you did it and you're not a graphics person and you're not a design, and you don't have to be a design in train, but you have to be a design in eye.
Yes.
Right. And understanding how it flows, how the colors flow, how everything works. And so it's so important to know this about yourself, because I see some folks out there, for example, maybe teaching about video or branding. And I'm like, please, that's just not how it works.
Right.
You can't, you're go get a professional to polish everything up and then continue with your wonderful advice, because it's just so important. So those of you who are starting your business out, get the money, put it aside, hire Janelle, and do get off to the right start. But if you haven't, you can rebrand, right, Janelle?
No, definitely. And remember, once you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. That goes for anything that you're doing, anything that you're investing in. If you're investing in an email marketing strategy, a welcome email series, if you're investing in a website, once you get it done once, you don't have to do it again until you're ready to up level to the next level. You have more money to spend and invest in your business.
Oh, that's great. And let's talk a little bit about email marketing because that's all part of the strategy. You have found this person because you resonated well and you aligned yourself well with your ideal client. And now you're bringing them into your funnel and you're getting them off that social platform that you don't own and you're
Yes.
bringing them into the email marketing campaign. What advice do you have for everybody around email marketing?
Make sure you have that welcome email series. Even if you have to write it them yourself, when they sign up for your freebie, they should get an email that says, "Hey, thank you for being here. Welcome to my community. This is what you're going to get from being a part of this email list. And I want to give you the best experience that you possibly can get. Over the next couple of days, you're going to get a couple of emails from me to explain what's going on here and how I can help you. Thanks for being here."
That's great. And then how and explain the welcome email because folks, you may recall being the recipient of a welcome email series, but can you go into a few more details about this, Janelle?
Yeah, definitely. So that would be the first email. I would say an welcome email series is anywhere from 5 to 7 emails. 7 is a bit long, but 5 to 7 emails where you're talking about who you are, what product you're serving, what service you're offering. You're talking about the history. Why did you start this business? What pulled you? What motivated you? You're talking about, okay, now after I got all that done, this is the transition. This is where we're talking. Okay, now this is what I'm offering people. This is the experience that they created. And then the last one is going to be, okay, now this is what you need. This is why you need it and how I can help you and what this product or service is going to do to change your life.
Woo! Okay, folks, there you go. That's it. From start to finish, from establishing your brand presence, how you want to connect with clients, what platforms you want to use, right on through to that email marketing, because now they are in your house. You own this side.
And remember, consistency is key. That's what we're talking about here, right? Having a consistent digital marketing strategy. So even if you just pick one thing out of all of the things that we discussed and be consistent with it. So if it's just your social media, being consistent. If it's just your email list, being consistent. But pick one thing and be consistent with it on a regular basis, whether that's once a day, once a week, whatever consistency is. Remember, consistency is just doing the same thing over and over again. It doesn't mean that you have to do it all the time. Just be consistent.
And can we give it like a time example for that? Some people might think of this like 5 times a day.
No. So on social media, I would say at least once a day. If you're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, being consistent at least once a day. Twitter, I would say 2 to 3 times a day would be consistent on Twitter. If you're sending out email marketing at least once a week, sometimes your audience can do twice a week. It just depends on your audience. You want to start getting a feel for what they're looking for from you. If you're writing on a website like Medium or something, write once a week. If you're releasing podcasts once a week, just being consistent all the time.
I love it. And while we're talking about this, but before I do that, Mia Voss is in the house, everybody. She says she can't wait to catch the replay and whew, she's amazing. So everybody knows what happens when Mia's in the house. I've got to bring up, because I just love the brand of Mia's podcast, Shit We Don't Talk About with Mia Voss. So visit shitwedonttalkaboutpodcast.com and hear the conversations you need to talk about, but aren't sure how to talk about it. Mia is delicious in how she goes to those conversations. So I saw a quote today that made me think of our conversation today, Janelle, and it's Dale Carnegie, and he's the how to win friends and influence people guy from way back in the day. And it says, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming more interested in other people than you can in 2 years trying to get people interested in you.
Yeah, I constantly talk about building genuine connections, right? So
Yeah.
that's how I get my referrals. I'm genuinely wanting to help people, and they can feel that. It's not fake at all. If I don't want to work with you, I'm not going to work with you. I have rejected clients before. So creating that genuine connection, getting to know someone, sharing something, even when you're done working with them, I'm like, oh, I thought of you. Here's a link to something that you could possibly use. Here's a client that you need to speak to, and connecting people together, creating those genuine connections. People contact me all the time. Oh, I need you to do this. Oh, you need to speak to this person, just because I've done that constantly and all the time for people.
See, as I said earlier, Janelle is the gift that keeps on giving. So even when you're done working with her, she'll see things that remind her of you. I love that. That is so important. So as you know, you've been building your business for a while now, but after you get your MBA, you started to take it to another level. What does success look like for you at this point in time? Is it a feeling, an outcome? And I always like to ask Janelle, whose measuring tape are you using? Because it's so easy to use someone else's measuring tape for success. So share with us what success looks like for you.
No, definitely. I don't consider success money, right? But money makes a lot of things happen. So if I'm successful, I have my children, we're on a beach, we're relaxing, and I'm just taking calls with clients, maybe once an hour or two out of every day. I am relaxing, I'm at peace. I am successful if I am peaceful. That is success to me.
I love it. And so when, not if, but when you're having those days where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to get out of bed. It's so hard today. Or, I always say, hashtag why bother? How do you shift your mindset? What helps you remember why you are doing what you're doing?
I either stay in bed because I give myself that grace,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes you just need to do that, right? It's okay. And the other days that I'm like, oh, no, I really don't want to get out of bed, but I need to get out of bed, I turn on some music from my bed. I turn on the TV, turn on Spotify, and I'm jamming, getting out the bed and dancing. Like you had your playlist that you listen to. I have my playlist that I'm listening to, and I'm just dancing to my Spotify playlist and getting out the bed and doing what I need to do.
That is wonderful. And it works. Music works, folks. It can really help shift your mindset out of feeling inadequate, stuck, whatever, and just get you lifted up. And it gets the brain moving, it gets your heart rate up, and it resets the mood. I
Yeah.
love that. And so, how has being a founder? I mean, you've been at this since you were 20 something, in your early 20s. How has being a founder in entrepreneurship served you, Janelle? Both personally, that you've been able to witness as you've evolved over the years, but also professionally.
I think it's life changing, right? So professionally, it's always a conversation starter, right? So you're constantly meeting people, and they say, "So what do you do?" And it's like, "I run my own business." "Oh, what type of business?" So then you explain all of that, and they're like, "I need your service." Every day I hear that. "I need your service." So professionally, it has been the doors have been open for me,
Yeah.
literally. I've been met so many people. I've done literally flown across the world through my business. On a personal level, I've been able to stay at home with my children. I've been able to travel with them, and I've been able to take the time that I need when I need it. If I don't feel like working a week or two, I have that ability because of the way that I've set up my business and my life.
Wow. And do you have some team members that are helping you implement? And what's that like? 'Cause I know you were talking about when you were tutoring and you started to build it out, you were like, I don't know, they're not doing it the way I do it. How do you do that for your business?
I am client facing now. So before, when I was doing my tutoring, I was not the only one that was client facing. So now
Yeah.
my team does not talk to anybody, any of my clients. I do all the talking to my clients. As they're talking, I'm taking notes. I'm creating tasks for my team in Asana. And they get all the tasks delegated to them. That way we have no holes and cracks. And I
Mhm.
set the right expectation. I know what time frame they need to get the task done. So I set the right expectations with my clients.
Oh my gosh. I'm just hoping at the end of this conversation, there are people, dialing you practically, reaching out to Janelle, save me, Janelle, please. I mean, you talk about, bringing your brand to folks. You bring the confidence that you're going to nail it for somebody. You bring and exude not just capability, but the level of organization. There's nothing fluffy about you, Janelle. You are buttoned up. You know what you're going to deliver. You know how you're going to execute. You know how you're going to help your clients implement. That is reassuring. And folks, the best thing you can do is build trust as soon as possible with your clients, right, Janelle?
Yeah, no, definitely. People start to second guess you. I read something yesterday actually where somebody said, I'm willing to pay 2 times the price for this amazing looking brand just because their aesthetic was beautiful compared to this cheaper brand. They're offering the exact same services and products, but because they were confident in their branding, they were able to get the sale over the cheaper brand.
Oh my gosh, I love that. How can the Startup Life Live community help you and add wind to your sails and open doors for Janelle Co?
If anybody needs any help with marketing, building out their structures, their systems, my team and I are here to help you guys to take your business to the next level. So we would be happy to help everybody. That would be amazing.
I love that. And founders, you know how important this is. You know how it makes my heart sing when I see people nailing it with their digital presence, their brand presence online, as well as their founder presence and their media preparedness. And Janelle, you help people do it all. And I just love that about you. I'm so thrilled that your folks reached out to me so I could have you on the show and as I like to say, maximize the joy and minimize the heartache of a founder's journey, because startup life is hard. And, you bring a lot of ease and grace to the process. So I'm so happy you were here to join me. Any last words before I bump you into the green room and wrap up the show?
Ande, I would love to offer your listeners a 10% discount, definitely, if they sign up. Yeah, no, definitely. If they just mention that they heard me on your show, then I'm happy to quote them and give them a 10% off of whatever quote we come up with for them.
Oh my gosh. I'll put that in the show notes, folks, because, we're saying that right here at the end. So those of you who tuned in all the way to the end, yay. That's great. And Ruth is like, yes, consistency is key. And Richard O is like, wow, with a lot of hand clapping and a lot of confetti blowing out of the horn there. That is so, so great. Thank you so much, Janelle. I'm going to pop you into the green room and say to folks, take advantage of Janelle's offer. I mean, 10% is going to be a huge savings, and you're going to get to work with her. I mean, pure deliciousness, right? Oh my gosh, on every level. Let me share with you who's coming up next on the Startup Life Live show. And it's on Tuesday, October 25th. We're talking with Erica Brechtel, and she is the founder, and she's a social entrepreneur and brand strategist. Erica Brechtel, and she's the founder of Eleonora, an organization that brings together and supports women by providing opportunities to explore a purpose bigger than themselves, connections outside of themselves, and impact beyond themselves. So how do you know whenever I have a new guest coming on? You hop on over to the Startup Life Live meetup group, sign up, and that way you'll receive an alert whenever I post a new show. And of course, YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Until next time, please know I'm cheering you on, but more importantly, I believe in you and your ability to figure it out, to step up and up your founder game and do what you need to do to get the success you need and the outcome you're looking for with your startup. Until next time, I'm wishing you a delicious day everywhere you glow. Mwah! From Boston. Cheers, everyone.